Sorry, I had to reboot my computer, honestly, 20 minutes ago. This is where we are now, so it takes a while. So welcome to Forex.Today. Today's a Thursday, the 5th of March, 2020. Today we'll cover gold, oil, Bitcoin, dollar pairs, yen pairs, Swissy pairs, euro and pound, Kiwi and Aussie, kitty cat, whatever you want. Make sure you ask questions, get involved. Please subscribe. Let's go. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money, cannot afford to lose. Hello, my name is Wayne McDonald. Nice to meet you. I'm a currency trader. Please ask questions, get involved. Treat me with respect. Treat the fellow Forex traders in the chat with respect. If you have negativity, check it at the door. If you're a spammer or a heckler, jump off a cliff. What else? Technical analysis, fundamental analysis, trader psychology. We can try to cover all of those things today. If you have a specific question, be sure to ask, and I will do my best to answer your question. Keep in mind, when I start to answer someone's question in the chat, I look over at my charts, and I think, and I talk, and I do things. Meanwhile, I'm not staring at the chat, so you might ask, I might see 10% of the chat, 90% of it I don't even see because I'm answering your questions. So please have some patience as well, okay? The sponsor of today's webinar is tradersway.com. Please visit tradersway.com, open up a demo account, take you less than 30 seconds. When you're in the back office, check it out. You'll love it. It's pretty. It's very, very pretty. You can download MT4, play some trades, check out the fast execution speed, check out the narrow spreads, check out the huge swaps. You can have an ECN account, you can have a fixed spread account, you can have a variable account. It's your way at Trader's Way with Trader Wayne. Tradersway.com. If you need other resources, I believe there's a link to the chart downloads. There's a link to my book. There's a link to performance coaching. There's a link to Trader's Way. There's lots of links all in the description below. So there's plenty of support. I'm doing my best to help you. Sharif says, USD Swissy, pound odd. All right. Seem like strange ones. Maybe not pound odd, but USD Swiss franc, really? Okay, I guess we can look at that. So let's go. Let's just start with these and then we'll work our way around. We've been watching Noki in regards to the oil. Oil came down, so did Noki. And now there's lots of consolidation, exactly where you would expect it. And I rebooted, so my drawing tool's not out. Hang on. Mama always told me, be careful what you do. Come on, drawing tool. Go around breaking young girls' hearts. Waiting for my drawing tool. Hang on. Mama always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do before the lies become the truth. All right, we got it. Okay, we got my drawing tool. Cool. So here we go. Where's the weekly sell zone? This is the weekly sell zone right in here. So weekly sell. If you're a swing trader, right? Oh yeah, today's Thursday. So at 11 a.m., the swing trading group will be meeting over in the swing trading group meeting room to plan next week's trades. Yeah, Raymond, I heard about that. And by the way, I also heard that the chairman and I don't know, the two big shots, instead of meeting at the and shaking hands, they did a foot tap. I thought that was pretty funny. They agreed to that, and then Russia walked out of the room. So there's some other things going on with that. Okay. So anyways, here's your weekly sell. Oh, swing trading group. Yeah, so swing trading group, I'll see you today at 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you are new and you would like to join the swing trading group, you still get the day trading course for free. The swing trading course is obviously in the swing trading group, and you can join all the live stuff that we do there. swing.fxbootcamp.com. Anyways, let's go back to this. Based on this on Monday, this was our target. Okay, so here we are Thursday, and we're just still stuck on the target. So it's very interesting that this is not our typical oil pair, but since we're all over CAD and we're all over WTI, this is sort of like your third one. So you're spreading out, betting on all the horses, which is cool. But interesting that it still follows the rules of engagement, right? Here's the first candle of the week. And based on that being bearish, this is the target. We've hit it. And now it has stopped. Stop going down, stop going up. Boom. Coffee up to you, Carlito. Muy bien. Okay. So anyways, we'll take a look at that. Beast! I got knocked out of Beast yesterday. Excuse me. This is one I think I had, what, 300, 400, 500 pips on? I can't remember now. Where would I have entered? Does anyone remember? I guess it doesn't matter. I just want to, like, I think I was in up here somewhere. Yeah, anyway, so I did really well. I got knocked out. Don't know where, don't know why, but I suppose it's irrelevant. So, cool. So I locked in this whole area here. I suppose not bad. I imagine all of this was mine. That's cool. And it stopped going down, and that was the plan, right? And of course, we can see now it's recovered and is moving back to this, the small mean reversion. But it could have easily been up here at the 200 EMA as well. And then it has a chance of going back here and like, forget it. Right? Just forget it. So I'm out. Cool. Locked in all that money. Money. Love that money. Whoop, whoop. Love that money. So we got that locked in. Hey, speaking about money, did you see the 10-year T-note almost? Or maybe it actually hit 1%? Holy smokes, eh? So time to refi, brother. And right? I'm serious. Time to refi. Start the negotiations now, and then the Fed's going to cut one more time. Get it. Get on it, man. Get it. Time to get it. Did it drop below? Time to get it, man. Lock that in. Lock that in, man. I'm serious. Lock it in. So anyways, lock that in. Time to move. This is where you make money, man. This is where you're supposed to make money. Get on that. If you have any assets, it's time to refi them. Okay. So we talked about this, I suppose it was yesterday. Let's move this. I set this up in yesterday's meeting. I said, hey, it's either going to do this if you're a bull, or it's going to drop to this lower level if you're a bull. So if you're a bull, you need to do one of them. Plan A worked like a charm. Check that out. Okay. So you were buying, you were supporting this 111 area, 1.11, and now we're at 1.12. 100 pips. All you had to do is take action. Okay? Now the interesting thing is this type of trade only gets you to the top here. So you really have to decide, are you trading the range or are you trading the trend? And very often trends die like this. They die like this, right? So you have to decide, and ideally you already knew this already down here. But when you buy here, your target's here. Okay? So are you a trend trader or are you a range trader? I think what you might want to do is just jam your stop and take a walk and hope. Because if it comes back, cost you nothing to have the opportunity. If it goes up, make a couple extra 100 pips, well, there you go. That's what you want in your portfolio. Okay? Wayne 00GG, thank you very much. Cool. Oil. Two stories going here. Two stories going. If you're shorter term on oil, you're looking at this extending down. If you are longer term oil, you're looking at something like this. Now there's a lot of lines on here, and you might recall yesterday I did this to kind of show you a bunch of things. We originally drew these lines to show if you were a bear, what prices you would wait for in the uptrend. Like, I wouldn't call it an uptrend, but the upward move. Because if you're a bear, you want the upward move so you can find your opportunities to sell down. They're potential prices, but you don't know when to trade until you confirm the prices. So yesterday we talked about, well, this would be a confirmation, right? Lower highs, remember that? Lower highs. So all of this is meaningful from your point of view. That's why you must have a point of view. If your point of view is bearish, you love being in the zone near 49. You love the fact it dropped quite a bit, but that's still not really an entry. But you love the lower high off of 48, okay? And now you're looking for the lower low to 46, and then you're going to look for the lower low to 47, or lower high to 47. And then you're going to look for the lower low, and you're going to play this. This is what bears do. And we set this move up down here. I mean, I don't know if you get lost in the 2 or 3 days that go by. You really shouldn't. You need to be a bigger trader than that. So our plan back here was let it to go up if you're a bear, and then find your price to continue it back down. Do you guys remember all that? And it was way down there, like 38 or something was the next bottom. So I hope you still have that in mind. And by the way, just again to remind you, we had this place locked up right here between 48 and 49 as the sell zone. You guys remember this plan? We did it last week. If you were a bear, you wanted to rise into the sell zone so you can drop it for the rest of the month. Way down there at 38 or 37 or something like that. It's only been 4 days, for crying out loud. This is a basic trade plan. This is when I talked about Forex not necessarily being a zero-sum game, but if you have a bigger plan and a higher time frame, that bulls and bears work in a symbiotic relationship. It's not zero-sum, it's symbiotic. Meaning bears dropped this like a ton of bricks last month and exited at exactly where they're supposed to exit. Well, these bears want to sell again, so where are they going to sell? So we said here on Friday. Then on Monday it went up. Then on Tuesday it went up. By Wednesday you should be shorting if you're a bear, because that's what we said on Friday. So by Wednesday you should be short, maybe even Tuesday. And this plan that we had last month, last week, was take it downtown. You guys, do you guys remember this in detail? Okay. Thank you. Does this mean everyone else forgot? Come on. It's better for you to admit it. I'm telling you, psychologically, it's better for you to admit it than to cover it up. Like these YouTube people, they don't know you. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You don't have to impress them. It's way better for you to admit that you forgot about it and you struggle with staying with plans. It's better to admit that because then we can figure out what to do next. Brendan says, what about the OPEC cut? Yeah, what about it? It's all right, RC. So Brendan says, what about the cut? Well, then you would be a bull in that case. This was all from a bearish point of view. I asked people if they were bears last week, so that's what we did. So if you were a bull, what would you be looking for? You'd be looking for some sort of a higher low, higher high. So you would take the whole process that I went through here. Remember, identified this price and this price and this price and this price. Okay? Well, you should do the same as a bull now. Okay? So what would a bull do? So I drew this fib. This fib is a bullish point of view. That's what this is. So let me highlight the fib in case you can't quite see it, because I know there's a lot of lines, but there's a lot of detail here. You don't want to dumb it down too much, right? Okay, and based on where your bounce is, it's either going to go here or it's going to go here. Fibonacci 101. Okay, so what do you want now, Brandon, as a bull? You want to buy a dip, and you want to buy a dip in this zone. Okay. So we got 46.5 to 45.5. So we got a $1 buy zone for you, which is more than enough. That's like $1,000 per contract. Okay. So that's cool. So let's switch things around a little bit. Reminds me of a 50 Cent song. So what you want to do is move, this was 45.5. And this was 46.5. And there's one obviously in the middle, so we'll put that at 46. This one we will kill. Okay. And there's your bullish point of view. Okay. There's your bullish point of view. Is it going up yet? No, but we want to buy in here. And by the way, we did talk about this here a couple of days ago. So if you were a bull, you could have bought it a couple of days ago because you had your first price. Hasn't turned north yet. Well, you didn't know that then. You still don't know it now. But today is Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. So you got 24 hours, maybe a little longer, 36 hours, to look for a move up. Now, in here, a move up could be defined as a reversal pattern, or I guess you can't quite see that. A reversal pattern, or a moving average crossover, or price action would look like this. Lower low, lower high, lower, okay? At some point, you got to be on the clue train, and you'll miss it if you don't have a plan. And here's the genius of your plan. Okay? Now, that's your plan A as a bull. Your plan B is right here. See? Your life is now clearly defined. All you have to do is wait for plan A, which is here, or plan B, which is here. If it doesn't do one or the other, you don't trade, you don't lose money, you don't make money. You're doing your job. Any thoughts? Now, I want to reiterate. No, I want to do this pinkish one. Okay. The pinkish plan was this. Can you see how much of these plans are the same? From this point on. So let me try to redraw this. Mathematically, let's see if there are any mathematicians, math-minded people, what percentage of this has congruency? Okay, there's a bearish plan, and there's a bullish plan. What percentage do we have congruency? In what percentage do we agree? 80% of this move, bulls and bears agree. It's only the outcome that there's disagreement. We know somewhere around here, it's either going to fall through or it's going to start rising. But I think some of you guys forget that because you're stuck inside of this. You're not even looking at a 1 hour chart. Your whole day looked like this. You spent your whole day in this box. How'd that work out for you? Did you get paid for your time? Nothing happened. Here's what happened in your 12 hours of trading. It did that. But you were staring at 15-minute candles and 5-minute candles. 12 hours later, nothing happened. It was the same price. Okay? Meanwhile, this was our plan this way, and this was our plan that way, and it took much less than how much time you put into here. Right? Okay. So anyways, just food for thought. That's how you bust it down. I don't know if you're a bull or a bear. That's for you to decide. I also yesterday asked you to visit the OPEC website and the IEA website. Did anybody take me up on that? Anyone spend some time on the IEA website? I only said it would make you, knowledgeable, fantastic trader, but it's one of those things, like I'm pretty sure 99% of people just don't do it. It's interesting, huh? Some of you did. Yeah, you're the 1%. I'll get there, young wolf. No problem. Can you successfully follow both bull and bear trades? You can. You're probably not good enough, but you probably can. Okay. OPEC and EIA Twitter accounts. That's interesting. Do they publish good info there, Gary? Look at these ginormous moves. People always told me. All right, let's move this out of the way. Let's undo that. All right, what do we know? These were the buy prices that I set up last week, mid last week. Remember these buy prices? This was an A, a B, and a C. Okay. Now, A's got to move quick, but it was OOP and never gave you the opportunity. So A died right off the bat, which is actually desirable because it's easier to catch. Now, moving on to B and C, the standard operating procedure is in these prices right here, you're a buyer. Okay? That's the standard operating procedure. You can do that with your eyes closed. Okay? The first minute of the first day of the first week of the new month, we were on our buy zone. It even came down and tickled our seat, which we did like way back here. And then it went up, 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 down, down, bounced off of our B, up, 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 and now is Oscar Mike on the move. Were there any bear opportunities? If you were a bear, you would have sold in here. And I don't think you got an opportunity in here, and you're done. Okay? So this worked, and now we're challenging here. If we can get above here, then we're on our way to MM4 to MR2. So let's put a price on that. Okay? By the way, are you starting to see again that if you're losing money inside all these tiny little candles, you don't even see what the market's doing. You're trading blind. Okay? You have to have this first before you can place a smaller trade. If you don't have that, you don't know where you're going. So how could you possibly trade consistently? You're going to get stuck in here, and for a day and a half, you're like, it's doing nothing, but you're selling and buying and buying and selling and selling and buying and buying and selling, 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 buying, selling, buying, selling, selling. And if you're lucky, you broke even. Right? But you spent a day or two inside that noise, except you were supposed to just buy here and be done for the entire month. I am not joking. Right here in the first hour of the first day of the first month, all you had to do was buy this. This is a standard swing. Every swing trader knows this one. And you're done for the entire month of March. It took you 12 and a half minutes of analysis, and you're done for the entire month of March. And you're on your way to 1736. Maybe a little higher. We'll say 1750. Okay? So if you're losing money in here, we need to fix your GPS, man. Okay? It's just you don't know where you're going. So you might be all over the place. Like someone asked before, can you be trading both sides of the bullish and bearish trade plans? Yeah, but it probably won't work. You can do it. There's no like law of the universe against it, but you're probably not that good. And don't get upset with me. If you're doing this for 15 or 20 years, you just get tired of that. It's just extra work. Okay? It's just extra work. Here's what an experienced trader says. All right, I'll buy it here, right? They do this. I'll buy it here. I'll put my stop down. The next day, they move their stop. Now they're done for the entire month. Now, on a weekly basis, they can buy this dip, they can buy this dip, and they can buy this dip, and then they exit everything here. That is so much less work than whatever you're trying to do now. Think of it, guys. If you're working your ass off, but you're not making the money you think you deserve, it's because you're overdoing technicals, right? You're overdoing your trading and you're underdoing your planning. You need to flip this around. You need to know that you want to buy gold. You want to know that gold has been doing this for months. You want to know you're a buyer. You want this to fall. By the way, this is where buyers take profit. So clearly they took profit. So that just confirms you need to know what they're doing. And then the next thing is, where do these guys buy back in? Right here. It's very, 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 very straightforward. So if you're just getting locked inside this noise on a 15-minute channel, 15-minute chart, sometimes making money, sometimes losing money, we just need to back you out, and I got to get you to spend more time planning and less time trading, and you'll actually make more money. You'll actually make more money if you trade less and get better at planning. Dragon Bait says, should he go back and watch from the beginning? I've been doing this since YouTube was a unknown startup. I was one of the first people to upload videos to YouTube. In fact, I was the first person to upload Forex videos. And you'll say, Wayne, how can you make a claim like that? Well, back in the day, back when my children were very, very young, like toddlers, I remember being on vacation, and there was an article in the local whatever I was reading at that moment, and it was talking about YouTube was going to be a big thing one day, and I showed it to my wife. I'm like, look at this article. This is that YouTube thing I was telling you about where you put videos on the internet. She's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, check this out. So I showed her YouTube. I pulled it up. Like, this is YouTube. People just upload videos. And they're like, of what? I'm like, I don't know, their vacations and their cat. And it was kind of weird, but it was difficult to share videos at that time. So it was a video sharing site. And I said, check this out. And I typed in Forex. And there was 6 pages of my videos. Every single video on YouTube under the keyword Forex was mine. So to Dragon Bait, yeah, you can go back to 2004 and start watching every video. But good luck. I think it's 5,000 videos on YouTube associated with my work. 5,000. Each one of them is probably close to an hour, right? On average. So anyways, get going. You know, it's amazing, right, Dragon Bait? If you started right now, let's say an average person works 2,000 hours a year at a job, right? 2,000 a year if you're working 8 hours a day. And you take a couple of weeks vacation and stuff. But let's say it's your full-time job and you started right now. It would take you almost 3 years to get through the videos. Right? You're like, what? How funny is that, huh? So yeah, don't go all the way back. But if you're like, this Wayne sounds like a jerk, but it also seems like he knows what he's doing. Just visit fxbootcamp.com. You can insert a credit card and knowledge squeezes out through the cracks. And you can catch up that way. Okay, cool. So be it. So let it be written, so let it be done. All right, let's look at, we can do some exotics again. Okay, right? So just hanging in on the lira. Okay. Just hanging in. I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Doing all right. Just hanging in. Need to keep it below this. Let's move that. I need to keep it below this. In fact, I'd like it to be a lot lower than this. The red flag here is that there was a 618, which predicts a 1382, but we did not make a lower low. That's a massive red flag. Shields up red alert stuff. Okay? So now we basically, it needs to do this. I mean, it needs to stay lower than this. If it gets up, I might be doomed. Okay. Okay. I might be doomed. And of course, my goal for this trade was to hold it for a year, and I've held it for more than 10 months. So to get knocked out in month 11 on a 12-year goal would be, ugh. Right? You know what I mean? To get knocked out on the 11th month of a 12-month trade. But the funny thing is, the whole time I told you about this trade, if you go back, even a year ago, we talked about it, and I didn't take it until 10 months ago. But the premise is, I said, if I held this for a year and I got 0 pips, right? Do you guys remember this? I talked about it probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times maybe. I said, if I could hold this trade for 1 year and on the 365th day, I got knocked out at break even. Right? You guys remember that? 1 year to the day, I get knocked out at break even and I make 0 pips. Right? Wouldn't it be funny if it actually did it on the 365th day, right? I've held it for 300 days. Wouldn't it be funny? I wonder how close it'll get. Imagine getting knocked out on 312 or 333, or boy, wouldn't it be great if I'd actually be okay if it came back and on exactly 365 knocked me out at break even. But remember, at the time, I think I analyzed it as being about 1,300% return on investment if I made no pips. But since then, Turkey's been cutting interest rates, and up until recently, it was closer to 1,100. Okay? Right? 1,100%. And I think where I am right now, well, I know right now. Okay? Right now, not including pips, if I got knocked out today, so it pops up here, knocks me out today, I will be up 910% ROI. So, good trade. Didn't make any pips. Is that a good trade? Okay, so I'm trying to give you the lesson of thinking bigger, doing better planning, and staying with your trades longer. That was my goal a year ago, to show you, like, look, you can hold a trade for a year. And in fact, if you become a hedge fund manager, you will really get to know the power of this. So my goal is to get you successful as a trader. Then I'm going to teach you how to be a professional. Then I'm going to teach you how to start and manage and fundraise for your own hedge fund. And then you're going to put me on your board of advisors so I can be around and help when you need it. And hedge funds don't hedge. They should and could, but what you do isn't hedging, is it? It's speculative. But that's the terminology. Whether you actually start a hedge fund or a managed program or a pool, they're all different things. So in my mind, I've been planning our mastermind group where I teach you how to start your hedge fund. and then raise money for it and do everything from printing business cards and logos and making your website, because websites are very, very specific to what you can and cannot do, right? To making your DDocs and your disaster recovery plans and your pitch deck and your elevator pitches and all that kind of stuff. But I know the very first thing we do at this mastermind group is number one, I would teach you about the hedge fund industry, about all the different types of hedge funds, because they're your competition. And you have to understand, if you're approaching wealthy individuals to potentially invest into your firm, you should know about, let's say, the top 10 types of hedge funds. So that you understand the pitch decks that these guys are giving to your potential client. Because at the end of the day, he's going to say, well, should I give the Forex guy some money? Or should I give the arbitrage guy, the ARB guy, money? You know what I mean? Ricky says, what's the difference, the interest rate differential on Lira? Well, let me show you how to do that. Okay? You open this up and you pick any currency on the planet you want, like this. Okay? And we'll get to that one. And you right click it and you click on specification, and it tells you here. If you're long, you collect 1.2. If you're short, you pay 9.1. Okay? Now, you can monkey around with that and then add, or let's say multiply by your leverage. Okay? So what's the interest rate differential on USD Mexican peso? Right click specification. If I'm long, I'm paying 40. Or if I'm short, I'm collecting 9.6. Okay. Euro ZAR is a good one. If you're long, you're going to pay 440. Not good compared to everything else. Remember the other stuff? 1.2. This one's 440. But of course, in ZAR. Or 1.22 in your pocket times your leverage. And then lastly, Euro Lira, 178. Okay. 122 is pretty good. Okay. 178 is even better. Times your leverage. Then there's costs and conversions and stuff. So it's not, right? But you could dumb it down. You can dumb this down a little bit. Okay. And say, 178%. Sorry. Times your leverage. So if your leverage 100 to 1, anyway, so you'd say about 1,800%. But then you have to account for the conversion costs into your local currency and some other things. So it's not a perfect. So the best way to do it is to place a trade, and on the very first day of rollover, okay, consider it more like, it's not, consider it pips. So consider it this way. You're earning 18 pips a day. Whatever a pip is worth is also a different question. Okay? 18 pips a day. So let's do this, right? The best way to do is place a trade and then add rollover on your first day to see how much you earn, because that'll have all the calculations into it. So let me tell you something that I know. Okay, so let me pull up calculator. Calc. If you sold Euro Turkish Lira today, one standard lot, makes it very easy. Okay? One standard lot. At the end, at rollover today, you'll have $30 into your account. Okay? Cool. Every single day, you earn $30 times, so 365, $11,000. Remember, I've been telling you 1,100. So anyways, because, okay. So, if you put in one standard lot, it's going to cost you $1,000. Okay? $11-1. You make your $1,000 back 11 times. 1,100%. So let's see if this is true. I've held this trade since May 9th, 2019. So approximately 300 days. Not quite a year, but getting pretty close. I've collected $920 in interest. On a $100 trade. So I'm not earning $30 a day, I'm earning $3 a day. So I'm earning 3% return on investment daily. Okay? So who was it that asked about the interest rate? Yeah, Heath, you can hedge, but hedge funds don't typically hedge. But anyways, I mean, they can. But anyways, right? So I can't see who asked the question, so I don't even know if they're here anymore. About interest rate differentials. So, yes, I invested $100 and I earned $3 a day guaranteed. No, the 3% does not compound. It's like I'm a bondholder. In fact, I am a bondholder. That's how I look at it. Okay? I am a bondholder. Okay? I have USD. I went to the ECB and I said, how much money can I borrow if I use my USD as collateral? And the ECB said, as much as you want. So anyway, so I get a big load. I load up. For every $1, I get $100 worth of euro. So now I own euro. And then I go to Turkey and I say, hey, Turkey, do you want to borrow euro from me? And they're like, oh my God, we're dying for euro. Would you please lend us some euro? And I said, well, how much do you want to pay me if I loan this to you? And they're like, 11%. I'm like, okay. Then I go back to ECB. I'm like, hey, how much do I have to pay you for these euros? And they're like, oh, it's free. Don't worry about it. Oh, snap. So I lend it to Turkey. And Turkey pays me. Okay. 11%. Which means every so often I have to pay the ECB like 0.1%. But I borrowed $100 worth of euro for every $1, right? So I ponied up $100 to borrow $10,000 How awesome is that, right? And so now I have $10,000 of euro, and I lend all 10,000 to Turkey. Turkey pays me 11% on all the 10,000 because they borrow 10,000 from me, but I only ponied up 100. So I'm earning 11% on a $10,000 loan, and the only skin I have in the game is $100. Yeah, boy. Yeah, so I'm actually earning 0.3% a day, but because I leveraged up, I'm earning 3% a day. Yeah, boy, base! So if I loaned them $1 billion, at the end of the year, I'd have $1 trillion. Ho, 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 ho! Wee, wee, wee! That's how we do it. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, there you go. So anyways, that was just a taste on my coaching account to show you, A, you can do fundamental analysis, B, you can do longer term trading, and C, yes, you can hold a trade. Some of you guys can't hold a trade for a day or a week. I've been teaching people how to hold for a couple of weeks, even a month or more, and it's blowing people's minds like, my God, I've been in this for 5 weeks. Well, I'm trying to show you the next level too. Okay? Can you leverage up mid-hold? Yes, you can keep adding to this trade. Yes. So I don't know if you caught it. I showed you. Was it on Monday? I can't remember. I think on Monday. I missed this one, but Tuesday, I got you guys into 2 trades here. I don't know if you kept your trades or not. It's up to you, but I was showing you. Look, every time you can add another, add another, add another, add another, add another. Like, why would you not want to do that if you're earning more than 1,000% a year guaranteed? It's a bond. So let me get back to that. I wanted to talk about that. It's a bond. This is how you can look at it. Of course, this is cash. But a bond, you lend somebody money. In this case, you're lending a sovereign money. Okay? So you're lending Turkey I guess it's dollars, but it's really euros. So you're loaning, it's $10,000 worth of euro. Okay, so it's, I don't know, 8,200 euro or something, right? Whatever. And they're guaranteeing you their payment. Okay? Now, the thing is, they've borrowed it, and every single day they pay you. Okay? Every single day they pay you. 7 days a week you're collecting interest. Okay? The thing that makes this work is you ponied up, let's say, either $100 or maybe you ponied up $200, depending on the rules of your country and stuff. Okay? You might be, if you pony up 200, I'm sorry to say you'll only have 550% return on investment guaranteed. And by the way, when I say, the guaranteed part, the 550% or the 1,100%, when I say that, that's just on swap. Okay? In many, many, many cases, you'll be up 3, 4, 5, 6,000 pips. And therefore, your return on that year would be more like 8,000%, not 1,000%. Okay? Now, this particular year, I was doing really well, and now it's come all the way back. But my goal is to show you that you can stay in your trade for a year. So I hope I can hit that. Okay? But at some point when you're big money, I want you to think about this. Do you really want to work 9, 10, 12 hours a day, scalping 30, 40 pips at a time? That's how you're going to trade? And you're going to do that with, 10 standard lots? 25 standard lots like that guy yesterday? Is that really how you're going to trade? The answer actually is no. That's actually not how you're going to trade. That's how you trade now, and that's why I keep telling you, you're doing yourself a disservice. What you're doing is amateur. We need to turn that off. You're like, well, Wayne, I only got $2,000 in my account. Well, whoa, 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 what does that matter? So if you would trade differently if you had 20 million than you do now with 2,000, then why don't you train yourself how to handle the 20 million? Like, why don't you just do that now? When I speak at universities to university students, one of the first things I ask is, I'm like, how many people here want to do something special with their lives? How many people here want to change the world or make the world a better place? How many people here plan to speak for those without voices or fight against injustice or simply make their community a better place? And everyone raises their hand. I'm like, but you're waiting? You're waiting. What are you waiting for? You don't have the background skills. You don't have the education. So as soon as you're done accounting 101, now you're ready to make the world a better place. Now you're ready to change the world. Now you're ready to make a difference because you got through your accounting class. Or maybe, you want to wait until after graduation? I'm like, let me tell you what's going to happen after graduation. You're going to get an internship, or you're going to get your first real job. And you're going to work like a dirty dog to climb that ladder. Right? And then maybe you'll go to grad school, or maybe you'll get that promotion and you'll start doing the kind of job that you wanted to do. And then along the way, you're going to meet someone beautiful and you're going to want to spend time with them. And then you'll realize you want to spend the rest of your life with them. And you'll get married and you'll have kids, and you'll wake up one day, you're 40 years old, and you're standing in a university thinking, I could have been a contender, right? I could have changed the world. What happened to that? So I'm like, why don't you just start now? You know what I mean? Why don't you just start now? I said, let me tell you the thing about making a difference in someone else's life. I said, look at me. And I'm talking about this speech that I gave was at Georgia Tech University. And I said, does anyone understand, or is anyone wondering why I'm dressed up in a baseball uniform, giving a speech to college, university students from 30 countries? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, look, I was coaching my son's Little League team. And then I said to my wife, you take the other car and take the kids home. I got to go to Georgia Tech University. So then I jump in the car and I zip over here. I don't even have time to change my clothes. I said, here's the interesting thing. When you want to make a difference, when you want to impact someone's life, when you want to change the world, it's very, very, very inconvenient. And sometimes uncomfortable. And sacrifices have to be made. So I'm like, why don't you just start now? It's never going to be the right time. You're always going to have something to do. It's always going to be inconvenient. You're always not going to be quite ready. So you get up and you do it anyways. Right? The same speech can be given to Forex traders, right? You need to have that vision of the future. If you want to be a hedge fund manager, start practicing how to be a hedge fund manager now. Stop pissing around with 20 pip trades and finding out you're not making any decent money for the amount of time you're putting into it. And inevitably what that leads to is you start trading larger lot sizes before you're ready. Because you get sick of making $2 for 4 hours worth of work. You're like, $2? I made $2 in euro yen? After 4 hours worth of work? Yes, it's stupid, right? So why don't you get a second job and save money for the next 3 years? Instead of if $2 for 4 hours worth of work doesn't add up to you intellectually, adding lot sizes is not the right way. That's not the right way of doing it. You're simply underfunded. So teaching yourself to get better funding by jacking up leverage and increasing risk is a disservice. You are denying yourself of your destiny. So start practicing for your greatness. It's okay. I understand making $2 on a 40 pip trade sucks. But train yourself. That small profit is the uncomfortable inconvenience Okay? That's the uncomfortable inconvenience. The test is, can you still do it, and can you do it right for the next 5 years? And maybe by then you'll have money, or people with money will look at you and say, oh my God, the discipline that must have taken. Yes, I will give you a little bit of money and we'll see how it goes. Then you do well for another 2 or 3 years. That guy gives you more money, and then he brings in a friend of his, and she gives you some money, and then another person and another person, and people will trip all over you. And then maybe when you grow that for a few more years, then maybe you can start looking at small institutions. Up and up and up. Okay? That is how you do it. Right? Emil, 39 is not too late. My gosh, right? Well, here's the interesting. So Max says accumulating positions. There's something to this. Okay, so let's say I shorted here. Actually, that's too aggressive. This is the one I talked about on Monday. Okay, this is the one I planned out. I took it, and then I got out for a tiny, tiny, tiny loss. I manually got out. I just didn't feel comfortable. I felt like it was still more up than down. You guys remember that conversation? But I was right. So let's say I shorted there. Oops. Dang it. Okay, so I shorted there, and now my stop's at break even. And then I showed you yesterday how to short here. I actually put a trade on for you. 2, I think. And so that's at break even. Okay? Let's say between now and London Open, so in the next 12 hours, you get another short. Okay? And let's say Friday before NFP, we're down here, and we have 1, 2, 3 shorts, all at break even. Okay? So now let's say they're all mini lots. Okay? So, right? That's $30,000 worth of this. Okay, cool. Okay, that cost me $300 US to be in that 30,000 position. Okay, cool. So I'm making $9 a day. Okay, so at the end of a year, it'll be about $3,300 on a $300 investment. Cool, right? But, and I want to get to Max's comment of the accumulation. Okay, so I've over 3 days of accumulated 3 trades, all at break even. How much risk do I have? And not black swan theoretical risk, like how much risk? Straight up question. How much risk have I accumulated? Thank you, Ricky. Drink the Kool-Aid. 0. I have 3 trades knocked out at break even. Okay? Now, the accumulation of positions, I've accumulated a $30,000 position. Okay? What percentage of my margin do I have left for trading? What margin do I have available? You'll actually see this in your MT4. It shows you the percentage of margin available. 100%. Because you are mark to market. Okay, I've accumulated a position of 0. Because all 3 are profitable. And I got all 3 at break even. So I have 100% of my account available to continue trading. I've accumulated nothing. You see what I mean? Yeah, Max, I'm talking about your question or your statement about accumulation. This is what I'm talking about here. I'm actually addressing your accumulation one. So now you're going to have to go back in the video. But I've accumulated 30,000, put up $300 for it. I got 3 trades over 3 days, all profitable, stops locked at break even and all on all of them. And your MT4 account will tell you I have a floating profit, right? And 100% of my margin available. Now, this might add up to, let's say, 100 pips. This adds up to 50 pips, and this adds up to 25 pips, right? So I have 175 pips profit, okay? So I can actually, my next trade, when I add another one, I'm actually trading this profit that I've already made. Isn't that great? Because I'm up. So my account has actually grown by 175 pips. Let's say that's $175. I only need $100 to add a 4th trade on Friday, if that's what I was going to do. So my 4th trade is for free. Okay? Now I got 40,000 and I'm still at 100% available margin. It's free. I've accumulated nothing. And if I have all 4 trades at break even, I have no risk, 0 risk. And now I'm collecting $12 a day times 365, right? So I'm making $4,400 a year only in swap plus pips. Okay? $4,400 on $400 investment, of which actually out of the $400 investment, I only really invested $300 of my actual cash because I'm mark to market and I can float. I can trade my float. The 4th trade came out of my float. I traded the bank's money. And somebody asked me like, Wayne, have you ever traded futures? So, yeah, I've traded futures, sure. And they're like, well, what's the difference? This is a difference. Like, holy crapola. I'm trading the profits on my existing trades, and I have no risk on those trades. But I can now take the profit out of my account, the floating profit, and add a 4th trade with my 40. Oh my God! It's like I've already been paid. Futures contracts can't do that. Amazing. 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 I know, right? Yeah, HK, yeah. But that wasn't my trade plan though either, right, HK? So, but yeah, I would have made, if I cashed out at exact bottom, I think I would have made an extra $600. But, right? But who knows if I would have got out exactly, right? So the goal here is to hold. Okay. Yes, Joel, we are meeting today, 11 a.m. New York time. So I can teach you guys how to swing trade, day trade, carry trade, trade. If you guys want to join the group, it's swing.fxbootcamp.com. That gets you the live sessions weekly to set up monthly trades and weekly trades. But you'll also get the swing trading course. And what is it? 22 hours of videos. And on top of that, for no additional cost, you get the entire day trading course, which is 3 hours long. And it's not very expensive. I can't remember what the price is, but the swing trading group's not expensive. You know, first of all, it's way cheaper than a Harvard class and costs maybe about the same as textbooks for one class, right? Like it's not a lot of money. Well, Highlander, if you're in the U.S. and you're stuck with 50 to 1, I'm sorry to say you'll only make 550% per year in interest payments. I'm sorry, it's only 550. Okay? If you want to open a foreign account, first of all, you need to talk to an attorney, but here's what will happen. You'll open an account, or you'll start a company. Let's say, I don't know, pick the Caribbean, the Bahamas or something, okay? I don't think Cayman, BVI doesn't allow it anymore. But Bahamas, or there are choices, right? So let's say you go to the Carib, right? There's an I in there. Okay, you go to the Caribbean. You start a company. Okay, you now are the owner of that Caribbean company. A couple of things you need to do if you're an American. Number one, when this company gets started, and that's why I said you should have a good lawyer, one of the things that needs to happen as an American is you need to tell the government, the U.S. government, I think there's 3 forms that you fill out. Basically, one to the government, one to the IRS, and one to the banking system. No, let's say Fed, basically, okay? One to the government, one to the IRS, and one to the Fed. And it says, you as an American citizen own a Caribbean company. There's nothing wrong with it, but you have to declare it. Because as an American, you are obligated to pay taxes. Okay? Cool. So, the next thing you do, then you open up a bank. Okay? For example, you might not know this. Switzerland is no longer allowed to give bank accounts to Americans. But they can give bank accounts to foreign companies owned by Americans. That's legit. Because they're going to 1099 you anyways. So there's a paper trail. So you start a company in the Caribbean, you declare it to the U.S. government, then you pass some bylaws. One, you pass a bylaw to open a bank account. 2, you set a bylaw to open a Forex account. You got it? Okay? Simple paperwork. So then you go to Switzerland and you start a Swiss bank account for your Caribbean company owned by you. And now you move money to the Swiss bank account for your company, and you're the owner and investor, so that all gets done in your accounting. And there's a paper trail here, so the Swiss bank will 1099 you, because any money that you make in your Forex account, even if you don't pay yourself, you're going to have to pay the government. So this all goes back to the U.S., okay? But now you can do it, and then once you got your Swiss bank account, maybe you open up, let's say, a Swiss Forex account, right? Or keep your money in the Caribbean and go with Trader's Way, or wherever you're allowed to. But Switzerland is a great kind of jurisdiction, right? So you can, you might be able to open up your Forex account in multiple places, but in this case, your company is opening a Forex account, let's say a Trader's Way, okay? So you have a Caribbean company in the Caribbean with a Swiss bank account. Pretty nice, right? Okay, neat, right though? You know, that whole process, if you buy everything, probably costs you $4,000. A belt to an American, it's just something awesome to talk about at a party. So you're hanging out at a party, drinking a cocktail by the pool, and you guys are talking money, and you're like, oh yeah, this is my Swiss bank account. And they're like, what? You have a Swiss bank? You're amazing. amazing. And you're like, yeah, I know I'm amazing. That's all. Now, if you live in Europe, you're like, Liechtenstein, Switzerland, no big deal to you. But it's pretty cool if you're American. Okay? Is that right, Sheriff? Send me an email. It seems like every 2 or 3 years I need to talk to somebody at Deutsche Bank. I don't know how senior you are, but I was in Hong Kong and I actually walked into Deutsche Bank in Hong Kong. I'm like, I need to see the most senior person here. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't just walk into this bank. I'm like, yeah, I want to open an account, right? And they're like, you can't do that. You have to go through Germany. I'm like, well, I'm right here now. I'm like, right? And it's just funny, right? And they're like, whoa, you got to talk to the Germans. So it was funny. I'm like, well, let's talk on the down low then. So we actually went and met in a coffee shop in the same building. We talked about it. They're like, oh my God, really? That sounds good. I'm like, I know, but you need to go through Germany. You need to go through Germany. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm in Hong Kong. It's a Hong Kong business. Like, I want to talk to Deutsche Bank Hong Kong. They're like, no, you got to go through Germany. So it was really funny. So like, and I've been through that scenario multiple times. So every once in a while, I need to talk to Deutsche Bank. So maybe send me an email. We'll keep in contact. No, I never heard that, Rep. Yeah, boy. So anyways, but what's so good about Switzerland? Nothing really. So there you go, America. You don't open offshore accounts to hide what you're doing. You don't open offshore accounts to prevent yourself from paying taxes. You will pay taxes. But if you want an offshore trading account, it's legal, perfectly legal, perfectly fine. If you have a firm that does it properly for you. So don't just go to some stupid site. So a stupid website would give you the company, but then not tell you how to deal with the IRS and the US government. They'll just look the other way. And you might make a mistake on declaration of income, for example. And then 5 years later, they find out you have this offshore account. And they're like, whoa, dude, you don't know. And you're like, no, it's all cool. I haven't spent any money. I haven't paid myself. It's just sitting over there. And they will potentially, almost for sure, screw you over. They will crucify you. So if you're going to do it right. Don't try to hide anything. You will pay taxes even if you don't pay yourself. But it's like a pass-through. It's like owning an LLC. So it shouldn't be anything new to you. Just make sure you do it right. Okay? Oh, did I miss someone's thing? Who is it at the random gamer? The random gamer. The random gamer. The random gamer. All right, let me look for this random gamer thing. No, random gamer. Oh, there. Can you show us on what? I'm not sure. I'm missing it. Check history. I don't understand what you're saying. Anyways. Okay. So this is where we are. That's where my trade is. Right? So did I short here? No. Did I short here? No. Did I short here? No, 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 no. I shorted here. Okay. But again, that's standard technical analysis. Now, we're catching up to this 21, and it's one of the reasons we're getting caught here. Okay. So I told you guys a year ago when I shorted here, my goal is simply to put this into my will. I'd like to will it to my children because this is probably the all-time low for lira. Okay? So over the course of 8, 9, 10 years, this could just trickle down this way, in which I will make, let's say, 1,000% a year, plus all these pips. Okay? Or I get knocked out and I turn my $100 into $1,000 and my plan failed. I made no pips. But I also explained that was the risk I was taking. 1,000% a year. Actually, at the time, it's 1,300% a year if I make no pips. So to me, that was worth the risk. Okay. Now, of course, as it falls, I can keep adding, keep adding, keep adding, keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. Okay. And you may find there's a seasonality to this as well. Edward, if you're American, you can open a business account on Mars. You will still have to pay U.S. taxes. Okay? And if you don't pay your taxes, they take away your house, they take away your car. If you have $22 in the bank, they'll take your $22 and then they'll throw your ass in jail and embarrass you in front of your friends and your family and your children. There's no way out unless you give up your U.S. citizenship. And I understand it's only the United States and North Korea that have this policy of no matter where you are, what you do, who you go with, where you live, what you've bought and sold, doesn't matter. You pay taxes to the U.S. government. I think it's only America and North Korea, if I remember that right. If you decide to become a citizen of another country and then make offshore profits, then you pay taxes in that offshore jurisdiction, and that's that. In Malaysia, we don't pay taxes for Forex, see? Yeah, in South Africa, they don't pay taxes at all. Or at least maybe they shouldn't. Oh man, South Africa. I love South Africa. But boy, oh boy, huh? Boy, oh boy. I know you do. It's just funny. So, love the wine. Love South African wine. So this is going up. I need this to go down. That's all. I'm trying to keep this below 7. Trying to keep this below 685, really. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like South Africa. Just saying, I wish the government treated its country better. That's all. To remember to always think twice. So we're stuck in there. So I really want to keep it below this zone. Oh yeah, I forgot to do Bitcoin. I apologize. Let's do that now. I started with that, right? Yeah, I started with Noki and Pound Yen. Yeah, we did all these. Then I did this. This is our plan from yesterday. Most of it was just following up with our plans from yesterday. Most of them have done mediocre. I mean, they've done all right. Okay. So remember this? I drew two things. Remember this? I have 2 lines for support. And then we talked about inverse head and shoulder. And now up. Cool, that's what it was supposed to do. So between now and Friday, I would expect something like this and like that for next week. And then you're going to be challenged here, which we already know. So if that happens early next week, then we'd have a counter trend back down the other way. Okay? How do you get your index chart that you have set up behind you? I don't know what you're talking about. Hang on. Let's do this. Get rid of drawing tool. Let's go full screen. Which one do you see? Which one do you like? I don't see anything unique. There, maybe you missaw it or something now that I've zoomed in. These are just stuff I downloaded from MetaTraders. You see anything different, Anthony? This is just my trading account. But there's nothing behind me. The index profile I showed before. All right, so let's go back here. This one? Is that what you're asking about? Yeah. Go to metatraders.com. No, it does work on Trader's Way. You might have like an ECN account. Then I don't think it works on your ECN account. Because it's designed, like if you have like an I pound Swissy, it doesn't know what to do with the I. Right? So if you have an I in front of all your trades, this is not set up for ECN. This will work on variable and fixed spread accounts. Okay? It has nothing to do with demo and all that kind of stuff. Also, you might be trying to throw that down on, you might be trying to throw it down on MT5, and that doesn't work unless you've downloaded the new version. So on MetaTraders, you'll see most things now have, it says MT4 or MT5 downloads. You notice that now? You do have an ECN account. Okay. By the way, I've never actually used an ECN account. Do you collect the same swaps on an ECN account? Obviously, honestly, I don't know. Are you earning the exact same swaps? I don't know how they handle that. I've always liked variable spread accounts. I like soft dollars, not hard dollars. So you're going to get the same as an ECN. I doubt you save any money by going with ECN. But is it the same swaps, Hall? Yeah, talent, that's how it works. Actually, it's not correlation, actually. What it's doing is looking at pound versus everything, euro versus everything, CAD versus everything. That's how it's doing it. It's not actually correlation. But I could do this myself through relative strength exercises. And when you do a relative strength exercise, you're looking at correlation. But the indice chart is not looking at correlation. They're looking at relative value. Okay? Okay, talent? All right, I'm spent. So thank you for being on my team, guys. Thanks for being here every day. Give you a big boom. Thanks for being here. Hey, if you're on the swing trading group, I will see you an hour and 20 minutes from now. Hour and 20 minutes. Swing.fxbootcamp.com. If you want to join the group, it's awesome. You just pay some money and you're in. I don't care who your daddy is. If your mama can dance, what street you live on, what town you live in, what country. Cool thing is, you pop a credit card in and you're in. Just like that. What can I say? It costs money. But you get to roll with the cool kids. Maybe become a cool kid yourself. So, we'll see you there. Yeah, tomorrow, I'm not at Forex.Today tomorrow. I will be on the FX Street YouTube channel. And I've been doing that webinar monthly now for, does anyone know, like 165 months or something? 166 months in a row? It's like 13 and a half years. I'm approaching 14 years pretty soon. 14 years for that one webinar. Not for FX Street, just that one webinar. I've been working with FX Street for close to 15 years. I think a little more than 15 years. So then, like, how long have I been trading Forex, for crying out loud? Long enough. So, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for clicking like. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving comments under the videos. That tells YouTube this is a good community and it's quality content. And thank you for taking this seriously and putting all your effort into it. It's worth it. Trust me. It's worth a fight.